Why did you become a recording artist?
Because I love music, and out of everything you do, music is a one-way conversation. It's for you to get your opinion across, not for you to be talking and trying to listen to somebody else over talk you. It's just for people to listen. So it was a way for me to get my message across, but it's just my whole life, that's what I love to do.
What's been your message?
My message is just, having ambition, getting money, being unstoppable no matter what, just really like gunning straight forward, just no halts.
What genre of music do you consider yourself at this point?
I would say hip hop, rap.
And how'd you get into that genre of music specifically?
Well, when I was young, I was listening to Jay-Z. That's my favorite rapper. So Jay-Z, Wayne. Then I started growing on Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, a lot of artists. So I think just listening to Jay-Z, Fabulous back in the day when I was younger, when I was a kid, kind of like grew on me. So I always loved lyrics.
Was that the first genre of music you encountered in your life?
R&B was the first genre. Michael Jackson, stuff like that.
Now, you mentioned several different artists here. You mentioned Jay-Z, you mentioned Fabulous when you were growing up.
Yes, sir.
What drew you to Jay-Z?
You said what?
What drew you to Jay-Z? He was actually your favorite.
Yeah, Jay-Z was my favorite. What drew me to Jay-Z was just his wordplay, and his choice of beats. I think that the way that he rhymed over certain beats, it really kind of conveyed a message to me. The Neptunes, they were my favorite producers too. So him collaborating with them really built on me, especially when the Dynasty first dropped. That was the hardest rap album I ever heard. So it was something I really wanted to pursue, was learning how to rap like that,
Now, do you remember how you discovered Jay-Z's music, or did someone put you onto him back then?
Somebody put me on to him back then. I remember I used to listen to like songs he had on the like the box and shit like that. But I never really was like hip to it until the Dynasty came out. And one of my friends I played basketball with when we was kids, he told me like, yeah, Jay-Z shit hard. You need to listen to Jay-Z. So ever since then, I've been rocking with it.
Care to share the name of this person?
His name was Ray Williams. Yeah, Ray Williams.
And do you remember what age or what grade you were at the time?
I was 12 years old. This was 8th grade.
Ever had a chance to personally meet Jay-Z?
No.
Now, how'd you learn how to rap? What was that learning process like for you?
Well, when I was like 14, I just used to freestyle. I never wrote nothing until I went to prison, when I went to jail at least. So I just used to rap, just used to walk around spitting, letting my friends hear it. I would get positive reinforcement from some. Some people was like, you work on it. So the more I used to work on it, one time, like by the time I got to 9th grade, I used to go the whole day just rapping. Everything I said, I used to rap it. Like, niggas be mad, like, they be getting annoying. They're like, what the fuck? Like, this nigga just rapping every word. Like, he ain't even singing a song. He just rapping. But I think just repetitive practice is really what got me to the point I'm at now, where it's just, it's one of a kind. So just repetitive practice, freestyling though, mostly.
And would you say you were self-taught, or did anyone teach you?
Nah, I was self-taught. Hell nah. Nobody teach me nothing. I taught myself.
And this was something you wanted to do on your own? Or was
Yeah.
it a suggestion? Maybe someone put a battery behind your back, so to speak?
Well, as I got older, more people put a battery behind my back. But when I was younger, nobody really did it. I was kind of like self-motivated. But I had positive reinforcement from my friends that was doing it. They was the young up-and-coming rappers. One of them was one of the only young 18-year-olds to rap with Game when he had a #1 album. So it was a lot of positive reinforcement from people like that.
Care to share this person's name?
Oh, his name is Quincy White. He used to go by Dub. But when I was in prison, he kind of took the music route. We was both in high school together. We used to be, posted up and shit. But he took music more serious than me. I was more so like on some street shit, getting some money. You know, he wanted to rap, so we both rap, but he just was a little smarter than me and did it earlier.
When it came to prison, was it state prison or federal?
State.
And you went to state prison just one time in your life?
Yeah, just one time.
And how much time did you actually do?
I did 10 years, from 18 to 28.
And what was the charge you were convicted for?
Armed robbery.
At this point, have you found your sound yet?
Oh, yeah, I got an extremely dope sound, one of a kind. Like, most rappers, they rhyme the last 2 words in their bars. You know, I rhyme the last 3 to 5 in mine. Some songs got the whole sentence rhyming. Every single word in the bar rhyme with the next bar for like 8 bars straight, 5 bars straight.
How did you know when you found your sound?
Because I always knew when I was comfortable on the mic what it would sound like, and whenever I could recreate that sound in my head on the mic, it was perfect. You know, at some point in time, I couldn't do that. So once I actually could do it, then I knew where it was.
And how long did it take for you to get to that point where you actually found your sound?
I think I think I got to that point like
Rough estimate, how long do you think it took you?
about 28 years old. I would say I found it. I would found it by like 28.
But prior to that, when do you think you...
My bars actually elevated at 21. 21 is when I knew that I was on to something different than everybody else, because I used to freestyle in prison. I rapped on the yard with Perico, you know, that's my boy. A few different people, you know, but when I was in prison at the age of 21, that's when I knew, like, yeah, it ain't too many niggas that can rap like this. And everybody else that was rapping was telling me the same shit, like, yeah, I feel like yours is a little bit harder, you know. Niggas like, you can even write for me, I ain't tripping, you know, but on the real, like, I think that when I got to be 21, that's when I found my sound, truthfully, at 21.
And prior to that, what age would you say music started for you?
Music officially started for me probably around the age of 15, officially. Like, that's when I knew I would be an artist.
Just establishing a timeline here. Now, when it came to G, was that how you first met him, was actually on the yard?
That was how I first met him, was in prison. Yeah.
On the actual yard, or?
Yeah, on the yard.
Okay.
Yeah, we was on the main line together. You know, he was a Crip. I'm a Blood though, but he had a lot of respect from the Blood, so he was pushing laps with one of my homies, and I had seen him, and I was like, yeah, I heard you rap, because we used to stay right across the hall from each other, but he went to the hole and got out. So when he got out, you know, he was walking with the homie a lap, and I hollered at him like, yeah, I rap. And I was like, man, let me hear something. So, you know, he spit, and I spit. So, you know, it was cool. After that, he ended up going home, though. I had a little stretch to do, so, you know, I was down for a little minute after he left.
Now, you have done 10 years in state prison.
Yeah, 10 straight.
At what point in that 10-year span did this meeting of you and G take place?
That was when I was about 20 years old.
No, but I mean, like, how long were you into that 10-year bid, I
guess?
I
was just about 2 years in. Yeah, about 2 years.
And he probably left at what portion of your bid?
About 2 years in.
Okay. And since you've been out, have you had a chance to reconnect with him at all?
Yeah. We you know, hopefully we gonna do something real soon. But yeah, that's my nigga though, for sure.
Did you keep in contact while you were still doing
No.
Okay.
Because I didn't have no social media in prison. I didn't have no Facebook, no Instagram, that whole 10 years. I didn't start one until 2016 when I got out, so nah, I didn't keep in contact with nobody that wasn't around me in prison.
How'd you get a chance to reconnect with him again?
Instagram.
And he responded pretty quickly to you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, over time, because, you know, it was probably about a good 3 years that he didn't respond, you know, because he didn't know who I was, but he kept seeing me around like, damn, like, you know, I remember him. Then he went to the elementary school on the same block that I grew up on, you know, Daniel Freeman. And that's where I knew, because even in prison, I knew I seen him somewhere, you know. But, yeah, he actually went to the elementary school around the same time as me.
And had no idea.
Nah, it just, I knew his face was familiar, but we had no idea, though, until he told me, like, yeah, I went there. I was like, okay, that's where I seen you from.
Now, and what prison was this that you actually met each other on the yard?
CMC East.
From the time you had that encounter with G initially at CMC to the place where he's at in his music career, in the music industry, and where he's leveled up on that success ladder, does that surprise you at all where he's at currently?
Nah, because he always had that style. You know, he was always a real gangster, so I always looked at it like he would get far in life, you know?
And for time reference, it's May 2021. Now, at this point, are you a full-time recording artist?
Yeah, that's all I do is music.
How long would you say you've been full-time for?
For probably about a year. I just really started messing with it 2020. That's when I took it like, you know, let's go.
Ever signed a recording contract?
No.
Have you been offered?
No.
In this amount of time that you've been a full-time recording artist, ever felt like quitting?
No.
Risk versus reward. What's the biggest risk you took for your music career so far?
There was no risk.
Proudest accomplishment so far in your music career?
My mixtape that I just dropped, my project that I have out right now.
What's it called?
Brazy Now, Better Later.
And has this been a fulfilling accomplishment for you?
Yeah, because it sounded exactly how I wanted it to sound. Exact, you know.
On this particular project, was any of it created while you were incarcerated?
No, none of it.
Biggest failure so far in your music career?
In my music career,
Yeah.
Waiting so long to release a project. I think that I should have fed the streets a long time ago, and I didn't because I was having so much fun, spending so much money. I didn't see the importance until I realized that nobody's gonna hear my music unless I put that shit out. So I think just me being procrastinating and waiting so long, because I've been out of jail like a good 5 years going on. August 6th, it'll be 5 years. And I just dropped a project 2020, so, you know, I kind of feel like I waited not too long, but I waited longer than I should have, you know.
If you could do it all over again, at what point after your release should this have come out?
The thing is, even though I say that, I don't think that I think that it happened right on time, because it's certain events in my life that happened that inspire certain songs on the project that if I would have released it 2016, it wouldn't have been there.
I know that none of the material on this particular project was created while you were incarcerated, but the incarceration, was that mentioned on this project?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And was it just woven through certain lyrics throughout the project, or was there more so an actual song?
No,
about it?
It's been woven through bits and pieces, but most of it is like because most of my accomplishments are based on the streets, that I've been rapping about the streets. It ain't really been about prison, because my prison raps were made even from a mindset of the streets, you know. So even when I rapped in prison, it sounded like I damn near never been to jail, you know. So it really wasn't it's not prison orientated, but it has mentions of prison, but it's a street mixtape though.
When it comes to tactics, method, strategy. What's the single best thing you've done for your career at this point? So maybe, is there something you look back and was like,
Put a
wow,
song
I'm
out with.
really glad I did this move, or I'm really glad I did this, whatever it was in particular? So, original question. When it comes to tactics, method, strategy, single best thing you've done for your career?
Not be afraid to rap better than everybody else. I think that having that fearlessness of being the best rapper, having that like no nothing gonna stop me, or I don't want to rap like this nigga, I don't want to sound like him. I think having that fearlessness and wanting to be myself, you know, and grow this talent from where it's at, I think that's been my biggest blessing right there. That's been my strength.
Now, I did want to revert back to your time incarcerated in state prison for 10 years. As far as musically speaking, when it comes to the music side of things, during that 10-year bid for you, how serious was music while you were locked up?
Music was priority number one. Everybody that know me as being a rapper in prison. Like, I was famous without having, you know what I'm saying, without being famous. Like, niggas knew that's what I did, you know, was rap. Like, okay, that's the rapper, you know. So rapping was always a priority. The whole thing, my whole program revolved around rap because everybody knew I was gonna rap when I got out.
And how would you take us back to what life was like in prison and where music came in? Because that was priority number one. So
I remember it was one time that I had wrote 10 songs in 3 days. You know, 10 songs in 3 days. I was in college. I had just cracked the dean's list. You know what I'm saying? I was taking 5 college courses. I had just got a 3.7 GPA, so they gave me a dean's list certificate. And I got my business literacy certificate all at the same time. So I used to wear that shit on my sleeve, like, yeah, I'm knocking out hella songs, you know, because there's other artists in prison, just like every state. You know, the feds is always going to be niggas that rap. So that was the thing, you know, is really showing them where my talent was and how much drive I got. Because everybody's a rapper, but how hard are you going to work? So prison was a perfect place. Niggas just laying around doing nothing anyway, you know, so I got more than enough time to really put my foot down and write 10 raps in 3 days. And that seemed like a lot, but I just was writing, you know, just really like showing people that that's what I'm going to do. Like, I do this shit easy. Like, I go in and write a song. Motherfucker think it took me 3 days to write. I do that shit in 30 minutes, you know, 20 minutes.
would you get paid for this in any sort of sense while you were locked up?
No, because I never took nobody offer serious, and I didn't, you know, I wasn't gonna write for nobody. Niggas used to play like, oh yeah, well, yeah, hell yeah, write for me. You know what I'm saying? But they was just playing, so I never took it serious. Nah, never.
Did they have any talent shows in prison?
Not really. Niggas put it together like on their own type shit, but never one that the police allowed to happen. Nah.
Were you ever the type that was freestyle or battle rapping other inmates?
We never battle rap. Nobody battle rapped on the yard, but niggas just used to have ciphers though, and yeah, I was definitely one of them.
When it came to the ciphers, were you considered one of the top or the elite amongst the other rappers in these type of ciphers?
Yeah, for sure. One of the best.
How many songs in total during your bid do you think you've composed?
About 500.
What ended up happening to that music?
I just never used it. You know, I even used like certain songs, bits and pieces, but I never used it.
Why not?
I just never, it felt like I could always get better, you know, like the point I'm at now. You know, I even got a lot of producers working with me, trying to bring out the best. So it's like, it was always that I could get better, and that wasn't good enough.
When you made these 500 songs, it was just in notebooks?
Notebooks.
Do you still have those notebooks today?
Good 80% of them.
What happened to the other 20?
Shit, man, I have no idea. That's the thing.
When you would create these songs in prison, would you ever have access to beats?
Yeah. I used to order instrumentals from out the package book. Yeah. I ordered the Dr. Dre 2001 instrumental, and I ordered the Ayatollah instrumentals. Oh, and Jay Dilla, too.
So when it came to these 500 songs, how many of these 500 songs roughly had a beat to them?
All of them. I wrote every single one of them with beats. I used to listen to other people's beats and write over their beats. I had actually used some of those songs on a project I have that's on Dat Piff that I released in 2016, but no videos, and it was only on Dat Piff.
What was the name of that project?
Royal Gorillas. It's on Dat Piff only.
When you did come home and you were released, did you make a First Day Out song by any chance?
I didn't make a First Day Out song.
Why not?
I don't know. I just never really had that concept in my mind. And me and T Grizzly got out at the same time. He got out in November. I got out in August. So his First Day Out kind of really took the number one spot. But it really wasn't. I never really tripped on First Day Out. The song I got right now, Fresh Out, it's about females. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I never really tripped on the First Day Out song.